I just want to do a quick video to talk about the Moza R12. Now, a year ago on my channel, I uploaded this, which was the Moza R5 and ES review. So that was when I was quite new to, taking sim racing seriously. That was my first direct drive. So that video did quite well. Now I've got the Moza R12 a year later, and we have here the Moza GS V2P. Let me just turn it on. Let's go into the Moza Pithouse software. Just a quick video, I'm just going to comment on it really. Is it worth the upgrade? Is it worth spending hundreds more pounds or dollars to upgrade to the R12 over the R5? And the answer is, if you're taking sim racing seriously and if you think it would be a good idea to upgrade, then it probably is. Is it worth getting these parts when you've never done sim racing before? Well, it depends what your budget is and how willing you are to potentially kind of spend hundreds of pounds on something that you're not sure if you're going to use it or not. But if you know you love sim racing and you feel like the R5 is like clipping, like in iRacing I was getting clipping where the FFB isn't strong enough to give you the details that you want, then 100% I would say R9 or R12 are worth it. For me, R9 would probably be good enough because I get some pains in my hands with the strength of the wheel. So if I turn this on now, you'll see that I'm running 80% in the software for strength, but then in game I turn it down even more. So I'm probably only using around 7 Newton meters or so. So that's the GSV2 in the software. Also, I'm going to give you a tip of mine. I play iRacing exclusively pretty much. I put all these details down, I turn them all off in the software because they just create noise. I just use the raw force feedback signal from the game. And then here we go to base FFB curve, and this is what I like to do. I recommend this if you're on an R5 or if you're just lacking strength with any wheelbase you're using. Here I create this curve so that these are the lower FFB frequencies, or the lower, I don't know what to say, base FFB output signal. So these are the weaker forces, like just when you're turning into a smooth corner. Up here is more like the bumps when you go over curbs and when you're on a bumpy track like Nürburgring or Sebring. And what this curve does, as opposed to using the linear default setting, is when you have the curve, it just increases the strength of the important bits, like when you're turning into a corner, relative to the higher strength stuff, which is the bumps and curbs, which are not so important. You don't really need to feel those so much. So that's just my suggestion. Other than that, I mean, there's nothing much to say. You can watch videos on this wheel, but this wheel, I love the size of this wheel as well. 300mm versus 280mm. I've got a lot of tennis tape wrapped around the handles to make it thicker grips, because I don't know, my hands are kind of slender but quite long, so I prefer a bigger grip. Also, the shifters, I also moved them onto the other side of this bit that they're attached to, and I also put in between, I put some like paper and some tape in between the magnetic shifter and where it sits, so that it's closer to my finger, so it's easier to press. The magnetism isn't as strong, so that's my suggestion. But yeah, I don't know what else to say. I would suggest, yeah, if you're really into your sim racing, then get at least an R9, if not an R12 base. The base is running perfect. And also I have to say that with this wheel I had to do some firmware, like I had to download some old firmware Moza ran me through on the Discord, so if you've ever got an issue with this V2P GS wheel, then let me know and I can help you with that. But yeah, I don't know what else to say. It's really good and it's definitely worth the upgrade. Also, I've got SRP pedals, which I really like. They've got different spring options. Excuse my handiwork with these socks that I've put over them. And also I use the Moza bags. These are the bags that you get with all your Moza stuff, and I actually use these as like heel rests. Let me just prove to you. Yeah, these are the bags, and I just fold them up and put them on the pedal plate because it makes it more comfortable for my heels when I'm driving. So yeah, yeah, I don't know, any questions, let me know, but yeah, fully recommend this stuff. Also, I should have already answered this question. Does this equipment compared to a weaker base make you quicker? The answer, in my experience, is absolutely yes. If you are on an R5 and you're maxing out the force feedback on the R5 and you're clipping, you're losing details, the R12 or an R9 at least, but certainly an R12 is absolutely gonna give you more information. That's gonna give you more of a feeling of the grip of the car. At least in iRacing. I don't play anything else, so I can't comment on anything else. But in iRacing, I've definitely gained some couple of tenths of a second using the R12 over the R5. And even with this wheel that's 300 over 280 millimeters, I drive the Radical SR10 mostly, and even with that, I feel smoother, more precise with my inputs. And then the pedals, obviously, pedals are kind of more personal preference because I use mine very soft, like really soft brake pedal for me, because I get like ligament problems in my foot if I use a soft firmer spring. But they're definitely better than the SRP lights that came with the Moza R5 bundle. So yeah, it does make you faster as well. So if you care about your pace, then yeah, I would definitely recommend like having a base that's strong enough to just give you all of the feeling that you need, and not worrying about clipping.